Welcome back to Keep It Real Boxing. This is Cypherbox bringing you the latest in boxing news, and basically what I want to talk about in this one is Tony Bellew. Just saw an article on boxingscene.com where he says he can beat Joseph Parker in his sleep. What I'm gonna do is read the quotes from the article and then give you my opinion on this matter. So here we go. He says, there is a big demand for this rematch. Let's be honest. I'm giving the fans what they want, to be totally honest. But if I had my way, I'd be signing off on the Joseph Parker fight. I could beat Joseph Parker in my sleep. Okay, and he goes on to say, I think he's a strong young boy. He's got age on his side and durability. But that's where his advantages stop. My boxing skills are far better than his, and I'm quicker than him. I do think he's the stronger man and obviously the heavier man, but I'm just not fussed on Joseph Parker. I don't think he's a top fighter or one of the best heavyweights in the world, and I am one of them, meaning he's one of the best heavyweights in the world, Tony Bellew. And I'm not even a proper heavyweight. I'm just a fat cruiserweight. Okay. Alright, let's talk about what he said in there. Do I believe Tony Bellew can... do I think he can beat Joseph Parker? Yeah, I do. I'm not convinced by Joseph Parker, I'm sorry. I think his last couple of performances have been, below par in my opinion. The last real good fight I saw Joseph Parker in was probably against Carlos Takam when he was in that IBF elimination fight for Anthony Joshua's world title. And he opted not to take up his mandatory challenge against Anthony Joshua for that IBF title. Instead he fought Andy Ruiz for the vacant WBO title. I'm guessing all these fighters are now getting this confidence from what they're seeing out of Parker in terms of what he did in the HAYE Fury fight. Now, I watched that fight, didn't pay for it, thankfully. Someone put it up for free on YouTube, so I watched it over YouTube. And if I'm honest with you, I don't think it was a great fight. I don't think it was a great performance by him. A lot of people were giving it to him based on the aggression. I've told you before, it's not about just aggression. The aggression has to be effective. And I didn't see a lot of it. In the latter rounds, yeah, but in most of the fight, I didn't see a lot of effectiveness in his aggression. HAYE Fury, unfortunately, was fighting on the back foot, boxing, moving, but I do agree with other people that if you want to become a world champion, you have to take the world title off the current champion, and that's probably what HAYE Fury didn't really do. He boxed beautifully, don't get me wrong, I thought he did. I can see how the judges gave it to Parker. I personally, if I was one of the judges, I probably would have scored it to HAYE Fury, to be honest with you. I didn't score the fight, but just from the eye test, I probably would have given it to HAYE Fury because I just liked his work in terms of, he was using that jab well and counter punching with the left and the right, and then moving, but Joseph Parker was putting the pressure on. But his aggression and his pressure wasn't effective. He would land punches sometimes, but not all the time. It was the latter rounds in the fights, that's when he really went for it. And I felt that's because he probably thought he was losing himself. But it didn't go HAYE Fury's way. Parker still held on to his title. I didn't agree with the scorecards. The 114-114, I think there was a 114-114 scorecard in there. The other two judges scored it 118-110, which for me, I thought, that was way off. If you're gonna give the champion, let's get it right, 118-110 is 10 rounds to 2. That is ridiculous. There's no way Parker won that fight 10 rounds to 2. If you're gonna give it to Parker, then it should have been a bit more of a respectful scorecard, and it should have been a lot closer than that. But anyway, I'm not going to go too much into what I saw that night. I just don't believe in my eyes, if it was me scoring that fight, I would have given it to HAYE Fury. That's just my opinion. But in terms of what Tony Bellew's saying is here, I do believe he'd beat Joseph Parker. I'm not impressed with Joseph Parker. I haven't been impressed with Joseph Parker since Carlos Takam. When I watched him against Carlos Takam, it was a tough fight for him, and he took some hard shots. Kind of was exposed, for his lack of defensive skills, in my opinion. But showed he had a tough chin and he could take a punch, and he had that grip between his teeth that you need in this sport. And in the last few of his fights, especially since he's won that world title, I just haven't seen that again from him. And if I had to say, he's the weakest out of all the heavyweight champions, and probably the easiest. After that fight against Hughie Fury, I would have to agree with a lot of other people are saying, is that he's food for other heavyweights. If he loses that title, he's not going to get another title back. That's the way I see it. I'm happy for you guys to disagree with me, as long as you articulate yourself in a way that, in an intelligent way in the comment section to explain to me why you disagree with me. But I don't see it. I really don't. And I don't want to see any more. I don't want to see any fanboyism in the comment section when you do comment on this video. But I don't see Joseph Parker what he brings to the heavyweight division. I think if Anthony Joshua fights him, he knocks him out. Deontay Wilder fights him, he knocks him out. I think Dillian Whyte fights him, he knocks him out. Put him in the ring with Lucas Browne, I think Lucas Browne knocks him out. And I think Tony Bellew, I don't think Tony Bellew seems to think he's one of the best heavyweights in the world. I don't agree with that necessarily, but I still think he beats Joseph Parker. So I have to agree with it. Not overly impressed with Joseph Parker at all in his last few performances. Haven't been impressed with him since his last fight. That I was actually impressed with him was the Carlos Takam fight, and since then he hasn't really shown anything. I thought against this fight against Hughie Fury, because it was a real contender he was going against, he'd be motivated and he'd showcase his skills, but clearly not. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's what I think. Let me know what you think. Remember, guys, keep it clean in the comment section. No insulting, trying to throw insults at each other or even at me. Leave an intelligent comment, as to why you disagree with me. Yeah, it would be nice to see some real boxing fans leave some real intelligent comments in the comment section for once. But like I said, as always, like, share and subscribe. Until next time, this is Cyphbox reminding you to keep it real.